There are moments when death surrounds you so closely that only faith keeps you breathing. What I am about to share was born in blood, tears, and worship that refused to be silenced. Please stay with me because this story carries pain, courage, and a hope that still sings in the middle of genocide. This is not just about suffering. It is about why we chose worship when everything around us was burning. Before we continue, please comment where you are watching from, your country or city. Let us connect as one family across the world and continue to pray for one another, because prayer is what keeps many of us alive. My name is Caleb Danjuma, and I was 24 years old when my faith was tested beyond anything I had ever imagined. The year was 2022. I was born in Kaduna State, Nigeria, on land my grandparents farmed long before I was born. Our soil was rich, our people were kind, and our faith in Jesus was strong. We were not rich, but we were grateful. Every morning began with prayer. Every evening ended with worship. Church was not just a building. It was our shelter. It was our family. But slowly, fear began to creep into our daily lives. First, the attacks were far away. We heard stories from nearby villages. Houses burned. Farms destroyed. Pastors kidnapped. Families running in the night with nothing but their children in their arms. We prayed and hoped it would never reach us. Then one night it did. I remember the sound of shouting before I heard the gunshots. I remember my mother pulling my younger siblings close. I remember my father standing still, as if his feet were rooted to the ground. Men came screaming religious chants. They carried guns and machetes. They showed no mercy. They burned homes. They destroyed crops. They killed people who tried to run. That night our village died. By morning smoke filled the air. Bodies lay on the ground. Children cried for parents who would never answer again. I helped carry wounded neighbors. My hands shook, but I kept moving. Our house was gone. Our farm was gone. Our church was ashes. We ran to an IDP camp, a place meant for safety but filled with pain. Thousands of people lived there, all with the same story. Everyone had lost something. Many had lost everything. Hunger became normal. Fear became constant. Sleep was broken by nightmares. Still we prayed. One evening, as the sun went down, something unexpected happened. Someone began to sing softly. Another voice joined. Then another. Soon worship filled the camp. I lifted my voice too. We were surrounded by death, but we chose worship. Not because life was easy, but because God was still God. Our knees were bruised from prayer. Our eyes were swollen from crying. But our voices refused to be silent. Worship became our weapon. We sang because it reminded us that God sees. We sang because it reminded us that God hears. We sang because picking up weapons would only turn us into what we feared. The attacks did not stop. Sometimes we would be on the road, and armed men would block the way. They would check names, tribes, and faith. Many Christians never made it past those checkpoints. Pastors were kidnapped even after ransom was paid. Some were killed anyway. Churches closed because people were too afraid to gather. I lost friends. I lost neighbors. I lost people I grew up with. There were days when praying felt heavy. Days when tears replaced words. Days when I asked God why. But even then, worship remained. People asked why we did not leave Nigeria. They asked why we stayed. This land is our home. Our identity is tied to this soil. Our parents are buried here. Our memories live here. Running away would mean losing more than land. It would mean losing who we are. We are farmers. We are worshippers. We are believers. Even when we managed to return to our farms, attackers would release cattle to destroy the crops. Months of work would disappear overnight. Hunger followed again. Yet we still worship. I learned something important during those dark days. Worship is not weakness. Worship is resistance. It says that violence does not have the final word. It says that faith cannot be killed with guns. When we worshipped, peace filled our hearts even when chaos surrounded us. When we worshipped, fear lost its grip. When we worshipped, heaven felt close. We were not asking for pity. We were asking for prayer. What is happening in Nigeria is real. It is genocide. People are being targeted because of their faith. Children are being killed. Families are being erased. We are not exaggerating. We are surviving. If you are watching this from another country, please do not look away. Remember us. To Christians across the globe, I encourage you today. Pray for those who are persecuted for their faith. Pray for protection. Pray for strength. Pray for comfort. Pray that God will change hearts and bring peace. And if you are watching this and feel the need to turn away from sin and come to Jesus, you can pray this simple prayer. Lord Jesus, I know I am a sinner. I believe you died and rose again for me. Please forgive my sins. Come into my life and make me new. I choose to follow you from today. Amen. No matter where you are watching from, remember this. We may be surrounded by death, but we choose worship. We may be persecuted, but our faith still sings.